7 men paid bride price for this woman, and yet she's single and unmarried. Yes, you had that correctly. This woman rejected 7 men who had paid the bride price. But how is this possible? Men involved accuse her of scamming them together with her family. On her side, she says men were never loyal and broke her heart. The uncle can't also believe what happened to his niece, and rumors suggest that she has turned a business out of those engagements. So what's the real story? To uncover the truth, we travel all the way to Goma and speak directly with her friend, her uncle, and her ex-fiancés, who tell us more of this complicated story.
Hello, my name is Fatuma. I still live at my parents' place, and I've had plenty of different unsuccessful relationships, so I've ended up becoming single due to different factors that many of them have nothing to do with me, like my first fiancé, who died shortly after paying the bride price. And then there comes a second one, whom we had some romantic moments that he made me forget my previous pain. This one was so special, and I thought it was a match made in heaven, and we agreed to have a wedding. He paid the bride price, families gathered, but then I learned that he had impregnated another lady. I also found out that he had another wife whom they lived together, and that's how our wedding was cancelled.
Being disappointed by the second man broke her heart, that she considered all men to be the same. She couldn't trust men anymore, which affected her next relationships with more downs than ups.
I never loved the third one, but he kept insisting and visited my family, and they somehow loved him. He later paid the bride price, but keep in mind that I never loved him and would never live with a man I don't like. So I had to cancel our relationship.
Then came the fourth, who seemed perfect, but he had other 3 wives. It's likely that every time she thought she's got a happy ending, things quickly turned out for the worse.
Yes, people have paid the bride price up to 7 times, and at some point I also feel ashamed because I would like to build and have a perfect family. But people have always talked a lot about it anyhow, some saying that I have turned the engagement thing into a business and blah blah blah.
She believes that maybe it's not the right time, or else she's not lucky enough as she is now single, but hopes that her time will come. She adds that what happened has also tarnished her reputation and painted her as the villain.
The issue is that I cannot easily forget them. It's hard to forget someone you once loved, and for that reason I just block them. There is one whom we went to pray together, and since then I never went to church again, for church members would always stare at me, and it would also force me to see him. I have no problem with anyone apart from the third one I never liked. Others disappointed me.
We met her friend who, amidst the chaos, stands by Fatuma, suggesting that not all men are the same and that hope should not be lost. It gets more interesting with her uncle and ex-fiancés adding layers to the story, each with their own perspective, painting a picture of a woman caught in a web of tradition, expectation, and heartbreak.
People here think she has scammed men with her family, but instead, she's also worried that she constantly tells me how she has feared men that she's even afraid of marrying after failing to marry, having received the bride price from men. But I always tell her to be strong and never give up, for I know that all men are not the same, and she'll find a better man. Though we are saying 7, but maybe tomorrow we will be saying 20, who knows? Even her parents are facing some critics, but I do pray for them and wish all the best to my friend.
Faustin is one, the ex-fiancé of Fatuma, and he tells us what happened between them that broke their relationship. My name's Faustin Munyara. Fatuma was my fiancé, and we dated for 2 months. Visited her more often, but her mother would always push me to marry her daughter, and then I paid the bride price they were asking and looked forward to wedding ceremonies. After 2 weeks, I discovered that the lady never loved me to the extent that she could be my wife, She told me she does not love me anymore and has a boyfriend. I was shocked. I tried to get a refund from what I had paid only to realize that I'm not the only one. The man believes he was played because before their relationship started, the girl had no boyfriend and her mother piled the pressure on him so that he would give them some money, bride price. She told me that she abides by her parents' wishes and added that her parents wanted a serious relationship, that if I love her, I should marry her. And according to our culture, you have to first pay the bride price and then go on with other wedding events. I prepared my house, got ready for my marriage, only to be disappointed. My family never took that easy and wanted more explanations, but it was too late. I would advise ladies not to play with people's emotions and not to focus on money but love. If you think that someone has to be blamed, wait until you hear what her uncle says. We drive to town on our way to find and hear from someone who knows Fatuma's story, and luckily we meet Ngongwa, her uncle, at his workplace. We started as 4 siblings, but the eldest brother passed away, leaving behind 2 sisters, her aunties, and me as her only uncle. News can be good or bad, and in the case of my niece Fatuma, it's a bit of both. She's had 7 different men pay the bride price for her, which is surprising. I was really shocked. I went to what I thought would be her first wedding, but then she decided she wanted to stay home. 2 weeks later, she introduced another man, and then another, with each of them paying the bride price. She always came up with weak excuses for not going through with the marriage. I went to 3 of these ceremonies, but by the 4th time, I started avoiding them because it was embarrassing our family. Unlike other members, he never supported what he calls to be games, and even warned some other family members of the impact it would yield, but it seems like no one really cared about him. I am among the elders in the family and did my best to stop this. I think it's women's greed, that when they see their fellow women with money, they also want some without working hard. I would advise ladies to first take enough time and think well before making any decision in their relationship. We visited Olivier, one more ex-fiancé, at his workplace in Goma town. Like anyone else, she blames the girl for not being honest and being too greedy. We were in love for about 2 years, but I didn't know she had 2 other men before me. Everything was fine until I got another woman pregnant, which is when our relationship started to fall apart. This happened after I had paid the bride price. Despite my deep feelings for her, I didn't ask for the money back. I had always heard rumors about her taking bride prices from several people, but I thought they were just rumors until I discovered they were true and that 2 other men had paid the dowry before me. However, that's all in the past now. I've moved on and concentrated on my business. We still see each other occasionally. For example, she once ran into me at my shop. She was surprised to see me, but since then, we've been able to talk without any problems. As in the case of this story, life doesn't always seem fair, and often there's no one to blame for the things that happen to us. The world doesn't promise to treat everyone the same. It just goes on, not caring about being fair or not. This might feel tough, but it also means we have the power to decide how we react to what life throws at us. Should we blame Fatuma, the men, or is this just life's way of teaching hard lessons? Let us know in the comment section what you think. Thank you for watching. I am Simon Greenwood, and this is Afrimax English. Remember to subscribe.